Hi there, guys. So I'm back with another YouTube vlog on here today, and it's been a long time. I know. In the last few days, it's been a up and down journey for me when it comes to my exposures, my anxiety, the sensations in my body, and everything else I've been feeling. So far, because it's September now, September 9th to be exact, it's been around started exposures on the 6th of April, so just over 5 months. Yeah. And so far, I feel like when it comes to a outer setting, so exposure, like a place where a lot of people are, I feel like I can, sort of turn my head normal because at first I couldn't really, look around, turn my head, talk to a person, things like that. So it's good in the sense as, that sort of agoraphobic mindset and claustrophobic feel when I'm in social places, that sort of lifted a bit. But it's still there whenever I try to talk to a girl, for example. So I'm more nervous and I feel anxious and extremely self-conscious. So I am working on that. And the actual way to work on that is to, go up and talk to these girls, maybe one by one, create awkward situations and, let it sink in. Let part of my brain, the nervous system that's just locking me into the freeze mode, let it feel it for a while. So that's an approach. But because, I can't be running around here, doing social challenges now and, you know, just running around like a headless chicken, I can't do that. So I can only actually do when it's necessary and when I actually have to, meet girls like for my sort of nature and for a discussion or talk or anything. I'm just gonna have to be myself and just be completely transparent and shake it out if I have to. Look, and the reason why I'm shaking now is because earlier there's some guest or girl or something, and I was trying to talk to her and things. How are you doing? This is that. I feel my palms sweating. I feel shaky, and part of me wants to hide it because I don't want to make the interaction awkward, and I don't want to seem like I'm overwhelmed or phased by her presence. So I shouldn't really be hiding how I'm feeling. Like, to get over, I need to actually be confident and maybe even say like I'm nervous right now. But because being in a house setting, I couldn't really overcome breaking the air and just changing everything, the whole atmosphere into sort of a strange, awkward interaction. Because once you transition from any sort of a vibe, people will pick that up and it'll be in the air, like whether you believe in energy or not. Like, these things are actual factual. So for example, when somebody walks into a shop and their head is steaming, they're pissed off, angry, they don't even need to say something sometimes, just their aura and the energy that's coming off them just radiates around the room. And people pick that up just from body language, the way they walk, and the way the body even just shakes. Like, when you're pissed off, you show it in a way like you feel like your body comes a bit like aggressive sort of tenseness in it. And human nature, I think we can sort of pick that up or at least feel it internally. And I can definitely feel that. At times I thought, am I a person where I can pick up frequencies, sort of a high empathy person, empathic person, if that makes sense. Am I one of those people that can just latch onto those energies? Because I've seen it with different people around me. Whenever it gets awkward, or if I talk to someone and it's not awkward already, if they all of a sudden become tense and awkward, that energy is transferred to me and it just flows through my body. So if I can pick that up, I'm sure I'm not the only empathic person in the world, and other people can, pick that up as well. And this is just, of course, things we are built with anyways. So, as you can see, when I try open up and try talk more and just be more vulnerable and say things out of my chest where, years on end I've been practicing to, say things that are socially acceptable and things that people understand that won't make fun out of me or, give me that strange look like, what the fuck did he say? Sorry for swearing, but yeah, like, what did he say, sort of thing. And, I think it's a safety mechanism. It's just a whole freeze thing. So fight, flight, freeze response, right? So I'm not like running away from the situation. And I'm not fighting the situation as in trying to, push that energy away or change in any way. I'm sort of just freezing. And that's like the last one of the three. So fight, flight, or whatever, and freeze. I'm on the last stage. And, you know, doing a lot of research and with the anxiety course, once you're in the freeze zone, which I've been actually since 2011, and I think it goes as far back as to, you know, my childhood days, you know, being born and, you know, having sort of a, you know, eating issue where my eating was completely out of rhythm. I couldn't, you know, face food. I was seeing food as something dangerous and just, you know, normal things in life where people are not taught but have a healthy relationship with. For me, I built it with a bad sort of reference in my head, you know, as a young child, and it went and leaked into the other parts of my behaviors when it comes to interactions, when it comes to my breathing, even my breathing. Like, for example, right now, when I breathe, it seems out of sync. I feel that at least, and when I talk to people, you know, there's a natural tempo as well as when you talk to someone. And my tempo is most of the time is out of sync. Like it's not with the conversation. It's completely sort of in its own sort of world where I feel like, you know, I'm jogging as I'm talking to someone, if that makes sense. So the breathing was affected when I was young. So I had asthma as well. And later on in life, it sort of morphed into a freeze response, and then came 2011 when I first had my panic attack, DPDR, all those things commenced after. So anyways, that's just a small sort of brief feedback and update of what I've been facing and my current situation 5 months into my exposures and trying to, you know, as it says on my YouTube account, the real Ali, you know, trying to bring out the real Ali once again. But then I realized as I continue with the exposures, now, you know, sitting in these cafes and, you know, McDonald's, for example, it's not really triggering me, but it's sort of giving me like that reinforcement. Like, I can do this, it's not bothering me. And, you know, whatever arises, got sort of a hiccup sort of thing. But whatever arises, I'll be able to face, and you know, it's not that scary. So I'm just trying to communicate to my brain, like, look, we keep doing this and nothing's gonna happen. So whatever you've got in mind, brain, everything, you know, is okay over here. But as for growth further from this point, I need to trigger myself more when it comes to such social situations. Like when I go out with my friends, like 3, 4 of them, for example, we sit around the table, and part of me just doesn't want this, you know, this setting to continue for literally the sake of me coming across as awkward and ruining everybody's vibe. So I think that's a fear that I've got. So just sort of ruining it for people and, you know, being asked questions and being put on the spotlight as well. So as triggering as it sounds, like to me anyways, I need to now put myself in those sort of social situations, get triggered, and re-register to my brain, which will take another few months. I'm 100% sure. And because it took me all these months just to, you know, feel just, you know, more comfortable in those, you know, environments like restaurants, supermarkets, you know, mosques, it will take me, I think, just as long. And the sooner I start that process, the better it will be for me. But because, you know, I work at unpredictable hours, unpredictable days, it's just, you know, schedule is all over the place. Even for my kickboxing on the side, that's side journey, if that makes sense, along with gym, is being pushed around. So this week itself, I just went like, well, it's Tuesday, so I literally just went yesterday, but the week before I went once or twice, and it's, you know, it's not really good. I could do a lot better, but I'm working along with my work schedule. So I have to bear in mind that my, you know, timetable and stuff is hectic, but it shouldn't stop me from trying to squeeze in, you know, those few minutes or hours of the day or week where I could socialize, embarrass myself, trigger myself, and hopefully, you know, reinforce and reinstate to my brain that there's nothing wrong with you and it's okay if you know, come across awkward, weird, and whatnot. And once I'm triggered and accept the fact that I'm awkward and weird, Then I'll give myself some room and breathing space to learn something new. And that's basically social skills and social cues, and how to, of course, bounce off somebody in a normal conversation and let it all sink in, process thoughts at a normal pace, and grow from there on. But yeah, that's a slight update. And when it comes to my YouTube vlogs on here, I am going to try switch up the style, because when it comes to my daily vlogs I'm doing on Snapchat, I'm doing one or two sort of vlogs a day. So today I think I've done one daily vlog. Usually I squeeze in around 8 or 10, 3 minutes each. But because it's been 5 months, as I said, it's not triggering me either, and it's not too difficult for me to talk. So I now have to challenge myself in another way, start moving the goalposts for my, recovery's sake here. And I will brainstorm when it comes to my journal tonight. And hopefully there'll be some refreshing content here on YouTube and also on my daily vlogs. And I'll be able to, trigger myself in all aspects. But without any further ado, I am currently working, and because I'm not getting a call within the last 45 minutes or so, I'm gonna end the vlog right here, and I'll catch you guys on the next part. Take care, guys.